It was obviously a night we made shots. We beat a very good basketball team. You don't hang 109 on a Dana Altman team very often. But I thought our kids were very focused. I thought we did a nice job surviving without Kasparis in the first half. My hat's off to Draven Gibbs, Lawhorn, and Jake Davis. They won us the game. They were spectacular. Coming off the bench, being productive. Ben Humerkaus, I've said it many times, a great shooter. We saw that tonight. And then, the unassuming guy was Trey White. Trey was spectacular, ends up with a double-double. Guarded, rebounded, got out in transition, handled the ball. And then I thought Kylan was exceptional in terms of getting us into offense. He handled the pressure. We're a hard team to press with multiple handlers. But a night shots went in and 16 threes, and that's always a nice thing to have. But a good win, good road win against a ranked team, top 10 team, and now it's on to the next one in our West Coast swing.
What was the lead up like to tonight? Just for the team, did you feel an eruption was coming? Anything that you noticed?
We were coming off the Missouri game, and I talked a lot about just carrying over momentum for the Chicago State game. The day before Chicago State, we really made shots. We were really impressive, and I told our coaches, I said, I hope that continues, and that they felt good about where we were getting them and what we were doing. Everything in our program, I say this 100 times, is when they don't go in, we got to find a way to win. Tonight they went in, and I think that showed kind of the explosion that we could have. The paint opened up. We did a great job of finding that, but I didn't expect that, especially against them. They're a team that's beaten Alabama, and they won the New Era event, and have beaten quality people. So. Just a good night for us and a tough night for them, and Dana will have them bouncing back, and they'll be one of the top teams in the league.
You guys that come off the bench talk about how their whole thing is no letdown, but when they set the tone, how is that different?
Yeah, that's a whole different level. That elevates your team like no other, and we know Draven is a gifted scorer. We saw that in a very quick spurt. I thought that Jake's hustle plays, keeping a couple balls alive, getting a couple offensive rebounds, getting a couple layups, and then all of a sudden, we see that what kind of shooter he is. We get to see that every single day. His quick release, and he did a nice job of flowing in offense and finding that. So it's an unbelievable plus. I thought Merez was just as effective in stretches as well. It doesn't show up in the stat line, but what he did defensively was very good.
Did that inspire the starters coming out in the second half? Because they had 22 points in like 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, and I thought we figured a top 10 team's going to make a run, and I felt like we had 45 points at half, and we were only up 7, and I felt like, gosh, we should be up 10, 12, 15 even, and we just jumped on it. And it was, it's not very often you force a team to call a timeout 2.5 minutes in or 2 minutes in. And we just kept going. They cut it to 12 or 14. And I thought Bam did a great job. Hit 2 quick threes when they went under on ball screens and just kind of built it from there. And then it was a matter of getting stops and us getting out and running.
What do you think allowed Ben to see the other side of that rocky stretch and to bust out of it?
It's so hard to change programs and find comfort right away. Marcus Domas last year, first semester, wasn't great. It was the Northwestern game at home that kind of got him going. It just takes. He's very cerebral. He's a perfectionist. He wants to be perfect all the time, maybe to a fault. But I think it's just now comfort. And I told him the other day, I said, I asked him how he was doing after the Chicago State game, the game that he didn't shoot. He goes, I'm waiting for him to go in. I said, well, keep shooting them. Because I said, they're never going to go in if you don't shoot them. And I said, your time is coming. But he was a guy that has found a good rhythm, and yeah, he's got deep range, and when he's making shots and can open that floor up, and then you saw him, he could back down and get a couple easy ones, and makes him really hard to guard.
How important has Trey been recently, just the role that he's established on this team now?
Trey's a stud. Trey's a really, really good player, right? I don't talk about him enough, but the way he guards, he's an elite finisher. His ability to isolate, play one-on-one is one of the things that really excited us about him when we took him. And again, he's a guy that does a lot of things really well, and one of those is elevate his teammates. But he's been sensational for some time now.
Dre, it seemed like